All right. Eagles at Bucs. Bucs minus 8.5. Over under 46. Pete, does this qualify as a Tom Brady revenge game?
Why?
Because the Eagles, no, it doesn't really, but because the Eagles beat him in the Super Bowl. He beat them.
No. Didn't he have that one earlier in the year when he played him in the regular season?
He already beat him in the regular season.
Yeah, they beat him earlier in the year, and that game probably wasn't as close as the score. Remember, that was the game where they didn't run the ball on a Thursday night, and everybody complained and moaned. The fans were booing. And ever since then, all they've done is run the ball, and they've run it well. They're the best rushing team in the league. Tampa Bay's got a really good run defense against conventional running teams. This is not a conventional running team. And by the way, the Bucs have given up, I think it's 14 or 15 more yards per game over the course of the last 3 than their season average, which is very telling. They're having problems with the run. I know they're getting some guys back, but I think they're going to have issues with this run game. I think the Eagles are going to use the run game to keep it within the number. And we don't know what the Bucs are like offensively without those weapons, without Godwin there. And Evans is still dinged a little bit, I think. And then you look at no Antonio Brown. Yeah, we saw him in the regular season. Let's see how they do in the postseason. So I think the Eagles stay within the number. I'm going to make the Eagles the best bet.
And the Tampa rush defense hasn't been as dominant as advertised. People don't run on them because they're scared of them. So they face the fewest amount of rushes, but they're 12th in DVOA against the rush, 15th in yards per rush allowed. So it's not like they're, this elite team, defending the run when you actually do run it against them. And Philly has shown that they will run it against anyone. They don't care if you're a good rush defense or not. And they've had success doing that. Tampa Bay dominated that first matchup despite the final score. Like you said, that was pre the Philly offense evolution. And this is going to be a different beast facing them here. I have the Eagles as a best bet as well. My only issue is they have one win versus a team with a winning record, and that team didn't make the playoffs. That was the Saints. But the Bucs did struggle against the Saints and the Jets lately. They had handled the Panthers, but everybody handles the Panthers at this point. Tampa's receivers down to Evans, plus good luck after that, Perryman and guys like that. Probably not going to matter with Brady at quarterback, but you never know. It's going to be a windy day, it looks like, and it could be a rainy day. And I think that favors how Philly plays offense as well, keeping this a closer game. So I think Philly can turn it into a lower scoring trenches game, get the cover here at plus 8.5. So I have that as a best bet. I also have Gronk over 56.5 receiving yards as a best bet. Got 10 targets with 7 catches and 100 plus yards in each of the last 2 games with Tampa losing those receivers. Philly is 6th in yards allowed to tight ends and 1st in touchdowns allowed. So check those Gronk touchdown props. They weren't up when I looked in terms of player touchdown props, but I think he's going to be good value on those as well.
I like that. The Gronk touchdown prop. They're not up yet either, because I was going to ask about a Leonard Fournette touchdown prop. I've got Lenny. I mean, we're talking about, let's not forget, this is playoff Lenny we're talking about here. This is not regular season Lenny. This is Lombardi Lenny, self-proclaimed Lombardi Lenny. And if you look at his receiving yards, that is extremely intriguing to me. The 63.5 rush yards, I don't mind either, but I think and I do like the over under 100 total yards or 100.5 total yards, but 33.5 over receiving yards. I mean, I get that that's probably right on line with what he's done this season. Probably topped it, I think, like half of the time. But if you look at his playoff run last year, he went over that number in 3 of 4 of the games that the Buccaneers played, 39, 44, 19, and 46. And even in that game where he had 19 receiving yards, he had 5 receptions. So this is a guy that they've, was dinged up with a hamstring, is brought back now, and that the Bucs love to use in the receiving game when in the postseason when he's healthy. And I think they held him out because they knew they had Rojo, they knew they had Keyshawn Vaughn. They felt like they could, get by with Leonard Fournette and let him get healthy because of how key he is to their playoff run, which is just crazy to think that, this is a guy that, the Jags took over to Sean Watson, and now he's like the key to unlocking Tom Brady's postseason run. So I love all Lenny props, anytime touchdown. RJ, what do you think Gronk and Lenny anytime touchdown will be?
It's hard to say. I would say as a running back, Fournette is probably going to be close to even, maybe even a little over. You're getting minus odds. Gronk will be a little bit on the plus side, I would think, plus 105, plus 110, just because he's been such a dominant force the last few weeks. And typically we see him a lot higher than that. But I just don't know who else are going to throw it to down in the red zone besides him and Mike Evans.
Do we want to let me and you take touchdown bets? Like, can I take Leonard Fournette anytime touchdown at minus 125 or better?
If you can find the book with it. I wouldn't trust my hypothetical odds.
Pete,
Yeah.
will you give
RJ,
me
the bookmaker. RJ, you taking action this week?
I am not.
I mean, I would like to make anytime Leonard Fournette touchdown a bet, but I won't if that's not.
No, there's no odds on it. Can't have it.
Ooh. All right. I'll just take Leonard Fournette over 33.5 receiving.
Unless RJ's little bookie shop he has in the back there behind in the deli.
I'm sure
I
I
can
can
find it on
find
some other site. I'm sure I'd be fine taking it, but just randomly taking it and assigning hypothetical odds, I don't think we should do.
That's fine. Whatever. Leonard Fournette.
It's minus
anytime
minus
score
150.
minus 150. Wow. That's a bit steep. Gronk minus 105. Mike Evans minus 110. Man. All right. I'll pass on anytime touchdown scorer. I will take over 33.5 receiving yards. I actually think the Bucs could blow out the Eagles.
I would be fine playing Gronk minus 105. I'm not going to take it for us, but just for the listeners, I think Gronk anywhere around even is good.
Okay. Debo, would you like to chime in on the fact that 2 of 3 of the podcast members, the professional expert podcast football pickers, have chosen your Eagles against the spread?
I'm just happy that it's at least at this point not part of the parlay, and that it's not a 3-person consensus, because that would be bad news for me.
That's it. All right, I'm willing to.
What else is bad news?
I've decided to make the Eagles a best bet. Give me the Eagles plus 8.5. Let's put it in the parlay, baby.
Well, here's the other thing. If they win, you don't want Debo crying again. We don't need to see
up high, down hard.
There won't be tears after a super wild card win. Maybe a super divisional round win.
You make Stetson Bennett look like he had dry eyes.
I like Pete coming on just dunking. Debo actually referenced that Pete, do you know what jersey Debo was wearing when he was weeping openly and publicly and filming himself weeping after the Eagles beat the Bucs, after beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl?
I'm trying to remember.
Pete, I'll give you a hint. It was a first-round pick from the 1990s. A notable first-round pick for the team.
That's just...
he excelled at the NFL Combine.
Big Combine guy.
Oh, Mike Mamula?
Yeah, that's right. Good guess. I mean, it's an easy guess once you say Combine. Yes. Debo will be wearing his...
That thing probably has you probably had to take it to the dry cleaner about 12 times to get all those tears off of it.
Salty discharge.
Salty tears. It's all mangy.
Looks like he's been
eating
crying.
There's no crying in football, Debo. You can't cry over victories and losses.
Pete, it was their first Super Bowl. I'm crying.
I don't care if it was the first Super Bowl they've won in 500 years. You can't cry.
I cried. I don't regret it.
Don't you wish Pete was your father, Debo?
He probably cried too if you raised him.
I checked another book on the touchdown props. I got Fournette minus 135 at another book and Gronk plus 125. So if you can get, and I think somebody in the chat mentioned Gronk at plus 130. If you get kind of plus 125, plus 130, I would run and grab that on Gronk now.